Hello, this is Archie Dunlop with Talking Astrology with Archie on Friday, June the 2nd, 2023. Apologies for the drastic haircut. Don't worry, it'll grow back. But for the moment, I suppose I look like Nosferatu with glasses. Now, before I talk about today's astrology, I am planning on having a kind of questions and answer video every now and then. So if you've got a question that you want me to answer publicly, I might have a video, for example, Ask Archie or something like that. Feel free to ask. I don't guarantee I'll answer it. I can't guarantee I'll answer it. But if it's the kind of question that you think I could answer quickly, say within 1 minute, then feel free to send me an email. My email address is talkingastrology@gmail.com. talkingastrology@gmail.com. So send me an email, but that is on the condition that I do not guarantee I will answer you. I do not guarantee that I will answer your question, even if I do get back to you. And of course, if I do answer it, you have to accept that I'm going to do it in public. Whatever information you give me, I'm going to talk about it. So maybe that's not acceptable. But anyway, I'm just telling you that. Now, as far as today's astrology is concerned, it's not really so different from yesterday's astrology. I mean, I know that we like the idea of having discrete days. This day is like this, that day is like that. But really, can we really look at astrology like that? Because, one day moves into another day and you've got time zones. And so very often you're going to get pretty similar astrological situations for day in, day out. It can happen. And so that means at times I will repeat myself. So anyway, here is the astrology for today. As usual, I've gone for the positions of the planets at midday, New York time, June 2nd, 2023. So the moon is in late Scorpio. In general, the moon does not like being in Scorpio, but it is at the end of Scorpio, and that's not quite so bad because there's this part of the sky, the Via Combusta, between 15 Libra and 15 Scorpio. And when the moon is in the Via Combusta, all sorts of strange things can happen. But now it's out of the Via Combusta, things are beginning to stabilize. Yet, you will notice that the moon has just moved from an opposition to Mercury and an opposition to Uranus. So particularly if you're in Europe or Asia, you may really feel this moon opposition Mercury and Uranus. There's tension. There is a capacity to say the wrong thing, to say things very hastily, maybe as a result of a build-up of tension. We get annoyed about something, really annoyed, and we don't know what to do, and we just feel our annoyance building up, and then suddenly we can't keep hold of it any longer, and we say something, and what we say is just completely inappropriate. So be careful. If you feel that tension building up, don't feel that you necessarily have to say anything. It may not be necessary. However, as the day moves on, again, this is particularly if you're in the US, as you move, into the afternoon, evening, the moon will move away from the opposition to Mercury and Uranus and will move towards a trine with Venus in Cancer. So at the end of the day, there should be an overall improvement. It's going to be easier to get on with people. The situation is going to be more relaxed. And in fact, we're heading towards a Grand Trine. Venus is at 27 Cancer. Neptune is at 27 Pisces. Moon is, well, eventually will hit 27 Scorpio, but actually that's really not going to be until early Saturday. But we're getting a build up to this. So towards the end of the day, emotionally things are going to start to flow. Relationships are going to be more satisfying, and in general, I think we're going to be able to express ourselves better. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the continuing progress of the Sun and Venus. Now, the Sun and Venus are in a 45-degree aspect, and they're stuck in this aspect because they're going at roughly the same speed. So we can sort of watch them move through the sky. We can also watch them hit off different midpoints. And today, the Sun and Venus are hitting off the Mercury-Cupido midpoint. Now, Cupido, hypothetical planet. It was the first hypothetical planet that Alfred Witte discovered, inverted commas, during the First World War when he was trying to predict Russian artillery barrages. And so the Mercury-Cupido midpoint is about other people, it's about unions, and it's about trying to bring people together, perhaps sending out messages to get them together, to have get-togethers, to have parties, unions, even marriages in certain situations. And so with the Sun and Venus hitting the Mercury-Cupido midpoint, now is a good time to send messages. Perhaps suggest that you have a get-together, maybe a reunion, maybe it's just focused on having dinner with someone. You don't actually have to do it like today, but it's a good time, if you like, for airing the proposal and, seeing what happens. And maybe in a few days' time, you can arrange something. So I think that's fortunate. Now, as far as the 12 signs of the zodiac are concerned, here are my forecasts. Aries. There is a high level of intensity, and you may wonder when things are going to really start moving, really intense. But when does something happen? When does it break? But it may just be much ado about nothing. Taurus. Someone is starting to disengage. This is certainly dramatic, but what does it mean? That's something you're going to have to work out. Gemini. On a physical level, you feel a certain unease, and perhaps you are picking up on other people's tensions. So, when other people are tense, you pick it up, and there may be a physical manifestation. Cancer. Your creativity has its limits, so focus on the one task that matters. Leo. Time for a reunion, and all it takes is a single message, and don't be shy. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because the Sun, ruler of Leo, is aspecting the Mercury-Cupido midpoint. Virgo. Something needs to be said, but what? The first words are really hard to get out, but soon enough you'll find your flow. Libra. The external environment feels bleak, but is it your problem? A meeting is required. Scorpio. There's turbulence as you adjust to changing circumstances and indeed to a changing landscape. Don't overcommit. Sagittarius. Things are moving your way, even if it doesn't seem like it. A burst of energy gets fast results. Capricorn. Some of your hopes for the short-term future are unrealistic. Others need more work. Aquarius. Disruptive influences are all around, meaning you have to be very focused. And Pisces, if there is something you really want, you can get it, but there will be a cost. Now, I'll finish up with the I Ching. As usual, I threw 3 coins in the air, asking, what will Friday be like for visitors to my YouTube channel? Now, the first hexagram I got was number 21, which means biting through. It means that we're involved with something that needs to be dealt with. And the I Ching actually talks about penalties. There are perhaps people around us who are misbehaving, who have not been very helpful, and we actually need to do something about it. Now, at the beginning, we might feel, well, people have been obnoxious, but, maybe it's not their fault. Maybe they were getting used to things. And so our first inclination is like, say nothing, do nothing. Maybe the situation will sort itself out. But as things progress, I think we get more annoyed. And we move to a situation where there might be someone who is being annoying, and particularly if we're in a position of authority, we might overreact. Yeah, this person is in the wrong. We overreact, and this person gets blown out. Now, you might feel guilty about that, getting rid of someone, telling someone that, they no longer have any place in your life. I know that sounds a bit dramatic. But maybe it's the right thing to do. Yes, it's harsh, but it's not a question of being unfair or unjust. No, you have to do what is necessary, and sometimes you have to bite through. And this biting through changes to another hexagram, which is hexagram number 40, which means deliverance. So whatever we do, whatever actions we have to take to deal with these people and situations that are really not being useful, whatever action we take, it can deliver us from the problems we're facing, and it can make our life a lot easier. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say for today, and I will talk to you tomorrow.